Hi, I'm Wendy Froshay. Welcome to my studio. This is where the magic happens. I'm a second-generation artist. My mother was an artist. I spent my childhood taking one thing and creating something else out of it. As I got older, I was always drawing. I was always actually drawing horses. I love to paint animals. I love to abstract them out a little bit, make them not so realistic. All through high school, I took every art class that they offered. When I graduated from high school, though, I didn't have enough confidence in myself to do the art. So I just got a job. And one day I woke up one morning and I thought, I hate my job. And I thought, I'm going to have to work for the rest of my life. I may as well do something I love. So I decided to go to college. Now I was probably late 20s, early 30s at this point. And so I threw myself in with such enthusiasm. I took every single class they had. When I graduated, I was very pregnant with my daughter. I stayed home and created my first business. I had my studio, I had everything set up. I had my daughter and then eventually had my son as well. And they were always welcome to come into my studio. They were always welcome to be in there while I worked. The first 10 years of my career, I actually fell into licensing. I was looking to just create illustration and sell my illustration work, and I discovered that illustrating books was really great, paid well, and I kept the copyright. So I earned a living licensing my illustration work for 10 years. When I divorced and moved to California, I of course brought my children and all of their things in my studio with me. At that point, I went into the corporate world and I worked my way up through this publishing company, from graphic designer to art manager to art director, and then finally licensing director. After about 5 to 6 years of that, I left. Corporate was not for me, and I came back to, I had my business going. I still continued to do the artwork and the illustration, but this time I decided to expand into fine art because that was my passion, that was my joy. About that time, people started coming to me wanting me to teach again. So I began with one class. That filled, then 2 classes, that filled 3, 4, and so on, and workshops. And I'm to a point now my students won't let me quit. I also, while teaching, started looking at licensing my fine art like I had licensed my illustrative work, and started looking for manufacturers who would produce the fine art on their products and go ahead, again, doing the same thing, putting my art on their products, selling the product, and paying me a royalty. It's a very nice way to earn a living as an artist. People ask me all the time if I was just born with this talent, and how did I learn to draw? How did I learn to paint? I was born with a passion and a curiosity. That's what I was born with. And a focus. I focused on learning and growing and studying. I get asked the question, how do I create? Do I have something in mind when I start? Yes, I do. I find inspiration everywhere. Everywhere I look, I find inspiration. It doesn't matter whether it's nature, people, seeing children play, looking at other artwork, just looking at shapes, colors, patterns of light. I'm inspired, and I often start with that inspiration, but my work doesn't always follow precisely what's up here. In fact, a lot of times it doesn't come out the way I'm thinking that I want it to be, and I actually gave that up many years ago. So creating art for me is watching the magic unfold, letting the inspiration flow through me, and then watching what happens, watching where it moves to, and then standing back and looking at it and saying, oh, that is really cool. I like the way that happened. And creating from there and letting that inspire me to move further, and then letting what happens with that inspire me to move again, unless I'm doing a commission piece. If I'm doing a commission piece, I do pre-plan that and present it to my client in stages so that they know where I'm going with what I'm doing and that they're not surprised by some strange turn. My clients tell me that my work, when I present them with a commission piece, they say it's better than they even imagined. Explore my website. There's a lot here. There's a lot of fun things. You can come back. You'll find new things all the time. Contact me if you're interested in purchasing a piece or commissioning a piece. Just give me a call.